Greetings, and may the love force be with you. I'm Rajashree Maa, and welcome back to Healing and Wisening. So today I thought we would talk about planting the seeds of wisening. What does this mean? Well, we all have questions about our life, about our trajectory, our path. And most particularly, I'm guessing for many of you who are watching this, questions about our spiritual growth and development, our awakening, our awareness. How can we come into our fullest, into our fruition? How can we come into our true nature? But whatever questions you have about yourself, we find many ways to work with these. Most of them are through the mind, right? We like to do problem solving. And of course, there's nothing wrong with problem solving. It's very important. And yet, when we do this intellectual kind of problem solving and try to think things out, excuse me, and when we try to think things out in this way, we're often bypassing the truth in our own hearts. And I believe very strongly through my own experience that that is where the answers lie. And that the truth in my heart is actually connected to the greater truth of the greater heart, so to speak. And so when I have a question in life, I really want to access those deeper parts of myself and not just rely on my problem solving skills. So today I wanted to bring forth an exercise that we can all do for planting the seeds in our hearts. The name of this, actually, it has a Sanskrit name. It's called Bhavana, Bhavana. And Bhav, the root of this, has to do with feeling, right? So our Bhav can refer to our current mood or our current manifestation. But it can also refer to seeking that deeper feeling, that sensation that we all know when we truly feel like we're striking at the truth within. And so we want to plant our questions as seeds in the heart so that we can experience what really feels like true and deep answers that are not just the answers of our own mind, our own imagining, our own wishes, that aren't just following what someone else is guiding us to think or do or see or feel, but that are authentically arising from that place within us that actually rests in truth, rests in peace, rests in wisdom. Another course that people will take when they have questions or want to know something that has been elusive to them is to seek out a psychic. And again, there's nothing at all wrong with this. I think it can be quite wonderful. I've done it myself in the past. But again, it's kind of asking someone else to go in deep and show us what they discover. And so when we do this bhavana exercise, it's like we tune in to our own psychic self And we all have this layer of our being. And I feel like our psychic awareness is probably as close to our soul self, our true self, as our conscious being can get, closer often than our mind, which relies on its rational abilities. So it is, in a way, like tuning into your psychic being that has access to the soul, to the very deepest part of us. So in this exercise, it's like a guided meditation. I'm going to be inviting you to ask a question. What is it you want to know, discover, uncover? What do you wish to have revealed to you? What's your deepest yearning to know? And I'm not talking about like, how am I going to acquire a new car or a new house? I'm talking about, what do I need to do to open up to the truest manifestation of my full being? How can I access my wisening? And also to ask, if you've had spiritual experiences or other experiences that feel very important to you, but you're not certain about them. Perhaps you've had a dream and you're working with this and you want to ascertain its relevance to you. This is something that we can address in Bhavana. If we're looking for mental clarity, if we're looking for peace of mind, if we're looking for self-forgiveness, or seeking forgiveness from others. These are the kinds of questions we might plant about how can I do this? Show me the way. And of course, when we're asking into our heart, I feel the heart is the connection point with the universal divine, with Divine Mother. And so the answers that we receive, they're not coming from our personal self. They're coming from that is ourself, but is also connected to this divine universal flow of information that really is always there and accessible. So this exercise in Bhavana, in planting our spiritual wisening seeds, is a way for you to have your own access to your deepest truth, which is a reflection of the greater truth of the one being. So what I'd like you to do is just follow along with this, take a moment and find your question, that which you seek, and that which you aspire to. And think about it. And most likely you're going to think about it in words. You might think about it in imagery. But I'm going to invite you to compress that thought, that image, into a seed. And as we do this guided meditation, you're going to plant that seed in your own heart, so that when the answers begin to arise, and they may begin to arise momentarily upon doing this, but like all seeds, they may take some time to germinate. You may need to do this practice many times. But eventually, the answer, the response, will show itself. It may not show itself, however, in words, in rational thoughts. It's not problem solving. Okay? It may show itself in the actions of another. It may show itself in you beginning to respond to things or react to things differently. It may show itself in many ways. So be prepared for the unexpected as you ask this question, as you plant this seed. And so while you're doing the guided meditation and following along, I'm going to be activating the Reiki Loveforce energy and directing it toward your heart center. Now, you're not listening to this live, and you may wonder, wait a minute, now how can she do that? Well, Reiki works by intention. And so just for you and I to have the intention that this Reiki that I'm activating now, today, you will receive when you're watching and listening to this. That's all you have to do. You'll feel it. Reiki knows no boundaries of time and space. And so it is always available to you, just like these answers are actually always available. Okay, so I would ask you now to let your eyes close and take a couple of nice, deep, sighing breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, getting the body centered. Try to be sitting up, but if you need to be lying down, that's okay. I don't necessarily recommend that you do this while you're walking or moving or driving a car. Particularly, don't ever close your eyes while you're driving a car. But if you want to listen to it again, you could, the second time, you might do it while you're active. But the first time, if you can, try to be still. And then I'd like you to imagine from your heart chakra, which is right in the center of the breastbone, but inward, between your heart chakra and your root chakra, which is basically toward the base of the spine. Imagine that whole area being filled by a vast, beautiful blue lake. And imagine these waters are not confined to the outline of your physical body, but rather your body is immersed in this vast lake up to your heart. And then from deep at your root, imagine a stem rising up to that heart center. And at the top of the stem is a closed 12-petaled lotus. The petals are closed, and the stem is rising up. It rises up very straight because it is held by the water. And the closed blossom floats on the surface. And now, please imagine a golden orb way above your head, kind of like your own personal sun. And it's just floating up there. As it beams light down, that light catches the closed lotus, and the petals begin to open ever so slightly, like a fresh spring blossom. And as they open ever so slightly, you take that seed, that Bhavana seed, filled with your intentions, your questions, your aspirations, and you place that seed into the lotus. It lands softly on the soft center of the lotus. You feel those petals enclosing the seed, protecting it, nourishing it. And even as you do so, you also feel that light beaming down from the golden orb above. And the outer petals begin to open so that the flower is now even more stable and steadily floating and resting on the vast water, the blue water. And for just a few moments, you rest, the lotus floating on the vast, rather still water. Very few waves or undulations, very subtle, just resting, floating, fully supported. And now I'm going to begin to beam Kali-Ki Reiki Loveforce energy toward the center of your lotus, allowing the seed to be more firmly embedded in that soft center of the flower, so that it receives water from below, light from above, and from all around, the love force energy of pure Reiki healing, so that that seed is nurtured, protected, receives the nutrients that it needs. And the seed can take as much time as it requires to germinate and to blossom. Once the seed has really taken hold and been embedded in the soft center of the flower, those remaining closed petals gradually begin to open. The seed is deeply embedded in the womb center of the flower. Right now, all we are doing is giving that seed what it needs to blossom into whatever kind of flower it may. Feel the lotus, all 12 petals open, floating, suspended. Feel the depths of the water beneath, expansive, vast. Feel the lotus undulating, the seed being rocked, held, nurtured. If rough winds begin to come and disturb the water, several of those petals can rise up and enclose the center of the flower once again, protecting the seed until again the water's quiet and there's just a gentle rocking, the seed being held in the love force. The love force is like gentle rain showering down. The lotus itself is deeply, deeply rooted down into the core, the earth, at the bottom of the vast depths. The light from the golden orb invites the petals to open. Eventually, the seed too will crack open, and out of it, something new, something clear, something bright will sprout. That may not be today. It may not be in this moment. Each seed takes its own time, must be given its own time to germinate, to sprout, to grow. Whether it becomes a great tree or a single flower is yet to be seen. And yet, what it will be is already written into the very composition of that seed itself. It is held and it is being nurtured in love, protected, cared for. Watched with curiosity and wonder. Take a few more moments now to just feel the flower floating on the great vastness, the light shining down, the love force raining everywhere, and the seed itself safely planted. Very good. I hope that you have felt the power of planting a seed and that you can feel the power of patience, of giving it time, and trust that by creating these beautiful conditions, whatever it is that you've planted, that you're seeking, will find its way to manifesting. You can listen to this guided meditation again and again. You can do it on your own. And perhaps set the intention for several times a day to come back to your seed. Trust that it will flourish. Watch how it grows. Okay. I hope that this has been helpful to you. It's a beautiful meditation to add to whatever practice you have. If you don't have a meditation practice, you're most welcome to go to the practitioners page of the Wisdom School website, www.thewisdomschool.us, and begin to learn our Om Ma meditation practice. I'm so grateful that you came today, and I would love to hear from you. Feel free at any time to reach out to me at Rajashree at thewisdomschool.us, Rajashree, and we will be in communication from the heart. Blessings. The light within me recognizes and is magnified by the light within you. Namaste.